Cooper Weidenthaler with Davenport Athletics, and I'm joined by the head coach of the softball program, Amber Bowman. Coach, a super weird time right now. We're all handling it the best we can. Just before we get into softball, how have you been, and how have you been spending your time during quarantine?
All right. Well, doing the best we can with everything, trying to stay active and, keep moving around. I've been fortunate enough and able to bounce between here in Michigan and then going back home to my parents' farm and, doing some odds and ends out there too, just being able to stay busy. So that's been great. But always through this time, we always think about everyone that's had to continue to work from the front lines. And so, we're like super thankful that we can stay home while they're out protecting us and doing everything they can.
So your first season, 2020, you guys played just 17 games. We were about to make a trip to Ohio, I believe, to play Cedarville and a couple other teams. But then the season is cut short just like that. It's over. Right then, how did you deal with it? What did you tell your girls? And then how have you been dealing with it since?
Yeah, so honestly, when we got our girls were right outside of the weight room when we got the call that we couldn't even practice that day. So we had to cancel lifting and we had to cancel our weights, and then told them we couldn't travel that weekend. So, we told them to enjoy the weekend, take some time off, and we'd see them back on Tuesday because at that point in time, campus was closed through Monday and we were allowed to return on Tuesday. And then as it came out, we found out over the weekend that we weren't even allowed to play the rest of the year. Our season was canceled. So for me, I feel like I went through every motion possible through all this because I personally think we didn't get that closure with them. We didn't get to the last hurrah or anything like that. So it's definitely been difficult kind of working through all of it and, and finding new ways to use technology to incorporate with everybody and stuff like that too. So definitely been difficult. Not at all how anyone expected this to go this year for sure. So, but you just got to be thankful that we're healthy and able to continue on. So as we go through, but we did some Zoom team meeting, individual meetings with the girls, and now we're working on some motivational things. So they're working on stuff like that. So hopefully everyone can stay motivated. I know it's hard as long as we've been quarantined now, and just kind of continue with staying motivated to get their work done and stay active through.
Yeah, when we were coming up with topics to talk about, you wanted to make it a point to talk about their academics and how they were doing in their classes. Not necessarily in the classroom because it became an online thing with this quarantine. But yeah, your girls were very successful this year academically, especially in the spring when they should have been playing and they still had to do classes. But just talk about that and how important that is for your team.
Yeah. Davenport softball has always in the past had a really high reputation of really high academics. And even in the fall, we had several girls that had 4.0s. And then this past semester, even moving online, we had 9 girls that had 4.0 GPAs, and then we also had 5 of them that had 3.9 GPAs. So we had 14 girls on our roster out of 22 that had all A's, include the A-minuses in there. So huge effort that they put through and worked hard, stayed on top of their classes, even though it could have definitely been easy for them to kind of lay off on those and stuff as we went through all of this. So super proud of our team and how much they accomplished this year for sure, especially in the classroom.
Recruiting wise, dead period right now. So not really able to do much. When the quarantine first started, what did you do? Did you reach out to the girls you had recruited? Did you recruit harder? Kind of what was your philosophy then? And now as it is kind of in a dead spot, how are you preparing for recruiting in the future? And we may not even have fall activities happening. So recruiting wise, what is this all like and what does it all mean for you?
Well, it's definitely been a whirlwind, that's for sure. Just my main thing is for those kids that have already signed and those that are committed, just staying in contact with them has been kind of the biggest thing with those ones. And then moving forward for kids that, that we would need down the road for recruiting, just watching videos, talking to travel coaches, replying to emails of those kids that we can respond to. But besides that, it's definitely been interesting. I think I've watched more recruiting videos in the last month and a half than I probably have in a long time. So just, going through and looking at all of them and kind of squaring away. have our recruiting board as a document now instead of a whiteboard in the office kind of thing. So trying to change everything to technology. I mean, I was wishful thinking. I even put together a schedule that we could go recruiting for June and July, but now I see that was more of a waste of a time for June since we're not allowed out in June now either. So, we have everything ready to rock and roll and move forward, but now it's just kind of a waiting game as we go through for, especially to be out and about since we're going to be starting in June on a quiet period. So we can't even quite make it out to see people play yet. So it's a whole new realm.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I have for you. Thanks for joining me. I know this is a super weird time, super tough, especially for coaches, because you can't really do much outside your house. So good luck with everything, and hopefully we can get you a full season in 2021. We can actually see you play some conference games and get to the conference tournament.
Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed for sure. So, well, thanks, Cooper. I appreciate it.